Do you feel emotionally connected to your plants? As if in the process of caring for them, they as well are caring for you? What about planty DIYs and thrifting for plant items? If I have your attention, then the Plants by Wade Lee podcast is for you. Join me, plant friends, as we dig deep and experience the magic of plants. Plant people, and welcome to the third season of the Plants by Wade Lee podcast. I'm super excited to have a special guest, Lucas, today, owner of Mossify. I'm super excited because I fell in love with Mossify 3 or 4 years ago. I was at this really cute boutique garden. It's a bar, a coffee shop, and a plant shop all in one. And I was like, what are these misters? And I just started seeding, and this is the perfect tool to water my seeds. So that was my introduction. And to hear your story, Lucas, it's so inspiring. Was connected with you on LinkedIn and started reading more about you personally and your company, and now that you just bought this moss farm in Canada, which is super cool. So I definitely want to talk about that. But welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, Wade, for having me. And yeah, super excited to be here. And yeah, it's been an absolute journey, and we're just getting started. So
Yeah,
happy to be here. And yeah,
you are just getting started, but you also have such a awesome list of accomplishments and awards already for being 4 or 5 years old. Mossify's
uh,
4.
we launched in 2020, so May 18th of 2025 will be 5 years old. Yeah,
Yeah, wow, that's so cool.
so crazy.
So you come from a lineage of hard workers. Your dad was in construction, and that's really where you found your love for invention and building and getting your wheels turning. Do you mind starting just talking about what it was like growing up on a construction site?
Yeah, even even before that, my grandparents immigrated from Italy over to Canada, and so both sides, my mom and my dad's family, moved from Italy to Canada. So very hardworking grandparents coming over, very poor, and working their way up in the Canadian economy and lifestyle and language too. The English language was new. But that kind of translated to my parents and my dad, specifically, just working extremely hard, multiple kind of things going on. And yeah, since I was a kid, I was helping my dad on site with him. I was working with the trades and different things, anywhere from, masonry to landscaping to carpentry to plumbing. I've done almost everything you can do in building a house. And I used to actually work on a construction site. So we built, I think, 39 homes in about a year and a half. So that was an absolute, amazing experience. It was really, really hard. Don't get me wrong. It was
Yeah.
extremely hard to work. It was extremely hard to work on a construction site in the very cold Canadian winter and the very hot kind of summer. Yeah, it's been, I think it's important to get really, really hard work done and see what that's like, and then, move forward from there. And other work is not as hard as, you know, negative 20 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but you're working
Cold.
outside. Yeah,
Cold.
very cold.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'm so blessed and grateful for all my work experiences. I've done, a lot of different jobs. So, yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah. And then, like, even as a child, I had read that you would, like, hustle and sell bookmarks and wooden bats. Like, you and your dad made the bats?
You've done your research. Yeah, that's pretty good. No, so I bought a lathe off Facebook Marketplace. So lathe, you put a piece of wood and it spins really fast and you carve it. And so I've always been into woodworking since I was a kid, stemming from my dad working with wood and lumber and home building. And so, yeah, kind of just bought a lathe and started making different things. I would make little pens. I would make baseball bats for myself and my teammates when I played baseball. Um, yeah, so it's super fun, and I enjoy kind of making things.
Yeah. Well, I'd love too that you definitely are that entrepreneurial spirit that, when you're faced with A or B, this isn't really working. So I'm going to choose C and do something completely different. And this is kind of what birthed Mossify and how you really honed in on it being the brand that it is today. You also studied film, right? So you have this background, this eye for marketing, and Mossify is definitely another one of those brands I feel in my heart that is like definitely a lifestyle brand. I literally felt some type of way using the Mossify Mister. I felt like I was doing something good, and I think that's what products should do. And you've done a great job doing that. Share a little bit about like how you have embraced this creative side as well, not just being hardworking with your hands, but also allowing yourself to dream big.
No, it's a great question and a great point. And I do agree. Like, I think that the media course I took was very important. And even in high school, I was very active in photography and film and videos and, kind of experimenting there. I think it's pretty remarkable when certain people watch a video or watch a movie, they get moved in a certain way. They get inspired in a certain way just from watching a video. It's pretty remarkable. But yeah, no, I think the creative aspect and bringing the audience along for the journey, I think, is a really big part of it. Again, we're a very open company. We like to share everything. We like to um, yeah, kind of just bring our community with us because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for our community, we would be nothing. We wouldn't be Mossify. So our community is just as important as all of our hard work on the back end. Our supporters, our customers, our retailers that support us, everyone, every part of that story and journey is equally as important. And so, yeah, I think filming certain things, and yeah, I think it's extremely important to tell the story, and yeah, so it's
Yeah.
been fun.
Well, to even have a story, like that, so many times, a lot of times you see brands just like throw up the product and this is it. But to have the story behind it, it makes the consumer engaged for one. Also, could see themselves using that product, which is super important. What brands really wanted. You also plant a tree for every purchase.
Hmm.
Does this come from like that idea too that while you were on the construction site you saw all that wood being wasted? Is that kind of where that dream came about or the purpose of planting a tree?
Yeah, that's a great point. And so that was, I would say, 50% of it. Excuse me. But so, when I worked on the construction site, I saw the amount of waste wood that I would throw out on a daily basis. I would load up my truck, my backhoe, bucket full of wood and throw it right in the dumpster. And it's perfectly fine lumber.
Yeah.
There were some smaller pieces cut off, some larger pieces with a couple nails in it, and it was considered garbage, right? So that was like 50% of the inspiration. I would say the other 50% was a company out of Canada as well as 10 Tree. So they plant 10 trees for every product. They were on Dragon's Den as well, which is the Canadian version of Shark Tank. And, later we appeared on Dragon's Den. So it was kind of a full circle. When I was younger, uh, I think it was like probably 10 years ago, I watched this episode. It's actually probably more, it's 13, 14 years ago, but I watched this episode of Ten Tree and I was so inspired by that brand. I went out and bought multiple products from Ten Tree, and it was just a really full circle moment. I've actually connected with one of the co-founders at Ten Tree, and just an amazing person, and really interesting conversations, and he's very, very he's great. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's unbelievable the way kind of the world works, and the energy and the amount of thoughtful work that we're putting into Mossify on a daily basis. It doesn't, it might not show the next day or the next week or the next month, but a year or two or three down the line, it's amazing what the compounding effect of thoughtful work, what it does. It's great.
How many trees have you planted at this?
That's a good question. I think we're around 19,000. I'm not too sure. Yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, so we're just at about 19,000. It's probably has to be updated.
That's amazing.
Yep.
The idea of Mossify came when you saw moss growing on a plank of wood.
Yeah, so that the idea of Mossify came from my driveway, to be completely honest. So there was little moss in the cracks of the joint of the pavers. So I saw that moss, and I've photographed moss before when I was doing kind of more outdoor photography, and I've never thought twice about it. So one day I was fixing my car, and then I had a block of wood that was stopping the tires from rolling back, whatever the case is. And I was like, what if I just put moss inside of the wood and then kind of see how it is. So I
Yeah.
carved out the word create and I put moss inside of it, and yeah, kind of the rest is history.
As like a living vision board, which is super cool. Very,
Yep.
very cool. Yeah. And then you started off with dry moss and a few wood art pieces and some apparel, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
grew it from there.
Yeah, exactly. So this was actually even before we were called Mossify. So I was doing research in the kind of lawn and garden space in October of 2019. I've kind of, and I guess before this, I would say I tried to do a medical device startup when I was 19 years old. Long story short, it didn't work. Medical device is very hard, especially when you don't have education or money. So that didn't work. And I figured, okay, let me do something a little bit more attainable. And in the lawn and garden space, what you've done in your past doesn't matter. What your education is, for the most part, doesn't matter. It's about you working and learning and growing. So I figured I wanted to enter into the lawn and garden space, and the next question is how or what. And so it kind of just hit me to do this, to collect the wood from construction sites, carve out different images, put moss inside of it, and then try to sell it like that. So we launched in January of 2020, and then next month COVID hit and the world shut down, and then I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm done. But instead of kind of giving up, I reinvested. I worked twice as hard, and we relaunched Mossify May of 2020, and kind of pivoted away from the wood blocks and the moss inside of the wood blocks, and now we want to be more helpful and useful products
Right.
and tools.
How many SKUs do you have?
Introducing more, and we're kind of taking some out. We want to keep a curated level of SKUs. We don't want too many, we don't want too little, but we're hovering around 120, 125 when we're
Wow.
adding some more.
Wow. I mean, it's phenomenal. I'm so proud of you, Lucas. Like, I just think that it's just so cool to just have this dream and like not give up, and then start with apparel and a few things that you worked with your hands to build it. Like, you're in over 3,500 retail spaces.
Yep. Yeah, and definitely growing. We have a lot more. This year has been, yeah, the compound effect is definitely coming into fruition. Um, so we're very happy, and yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
the
been
best
crazy.
new vendor for Ace Hardware Corporation, which is huge. I mean, every plant person knows Ace.
Hmm.
It's that's a huge accomplishment. Something else that I read was that this is a brand by plant people for plant people. So you consider yourself a plant person. You have house plants.
Yeah, and I think that really stems from my grandmother, or I would say nonna. So, my grandparents, again, being from Italy, are very, uh, I guess, plant oriented and garden. They always have a garden with tomatoes and cucumbers and beans and all sorts of things, and also houseplants. So my grandmother always had, yeah, I would say around 10 houseplants, always, and still have them today, right? I think she's the only person I know that can regrow an orchid. You know what I mean? Like she's her old school ways, they just work. Yeah. She's crazy, yeah. So,
That's
yeah.
so cool. Let's talk about the moss farm. This is
Mhm.
something new that you guys just started.
Yeah. So we're kind of taking on the Moss Farm. So we launched it last week. We launched the news last week, I think, and we've been working on it for over 7 months. And we felt last week is a good time to tell the world about it. And yeah, we're full steam ahead. We're already getting ready. We had our first harvest last weekend, to be honest, and it went very well. And we're excited to support garden centers, bonsai people, floral people, even reptiles and different animals.
Yeah, because this
And
is living moss.
mhm.
It's not just it's you're. Do you still carry dry moss?
Yeah, so we'll carry a bunch of different varieties of mosses from different places and countries. But this moss is dried for a so this moss can be dried in a dormant state and it will be shipped in a dormant state. And the really beautiful thing about moss is it can come back to life under the right conditions and if there's no chemicals or anything put into it. So if you go put glycerin into it or coloring like a lot of other mosses come, those won't come back to life. As soon as you put chemicals into it, it's not going to come back to life. But these mosses are dried in a natural way, and within weeks to months, it can come back to life, and it has, and it's absolutely beautiful stuff. It is gorgeous. The species on this property is unbelievable. So
Yeah.
we're really excited.
What three words would you describe yourself with?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I would say ambitious. I mean, I would say maybe obsessive. I have a very obsessive personality. And I would say strong. I think I'm strong, like mentally, physically, emotionally. Yeah, I guess those three words.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely see obsessive in like the entrepreneurial spirit because you cannot do the things that you've done without being obsessed. And not just obsessed about plants, but business and marketing. I mean, y'all are still a very small team, correct? So like
Hmm.
the brain power behind all of this is between four or five of you. So it's
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah, and I would agree. Like honestly, and if anyone, kind of has started their own business from scratch and whatever the case is, and grown it to, thousands of locations, multiple employees, and a big team, I would say they agree that you'd have to be obsessed in
Yeah.
some way. You have to be obsessed with customer service. You have to be obsessed with product quality. You have to be obsessed with branding and packaging and message. You have to be obsessed with your community and the products and the brand. If the founder is not obsessed, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. You also like have a love for bonsai as well, like, and that's kind of where the bendable pole kind of came from. Was your love for bonsai?
Correct. Yeah. So I was, during COVID, I think almost everyone picked up a new hobby that they never even tried before. And so mine was bonsai. So what I did is, we went into the forest, grabbed a little, small little tree, and then would bonsai it basically. And so we did that for a couple trees. And then, as I was on Instagram and thinking of new products and, we're in the middle of COVID. I want to redesign this company and provide something valuable to the customer and to the community. And so I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I'm seeing these moss poles everywhere, cocoa coir moss poles, right? A lot of them weren't even really moss, but
Right.
um, they were just a straight stick in the ground. And there was no bendable moss poles at all. And so I took the principles of bonsai and I was like, what if I kind of put that in the tropical world? And so I made a prototype out of it was a cedar wood block and then some like fencing wire and then some twine and that was kind of the first prototype and that's on our website there too and that was the first one. It was an interesting concept, but it was a really bad prototype. But the second version was better. The third version was even better. The fourth and the fifth was the best, obviously. So, but yeah, that's the idea. That's where we, kind of the idea of the bendable moss pole came from
Yeah,
was bonsai. Yeah.
it's cool. I have mine. Mine actually lives in my yard with syngonium climbing up it. So that's really cool. I used to have a pink princess on it, but it's perfect and it's reusable. I mean, I've had it. for a long time,
Oh, that's
at
awesome.
least 2 or 3 years, and weathered the winters. And I mean, I live in Florida, so the winters aren't that bad. But yeah, that's so cool.
I would say, with this business, it's been an unbelievable journey. Like we've been traveling across America and Canada. We've met so many amazing people. We've talked with so many amazing people. We've opportunities, and it's just mind-boggling of what can be done when we try our best every single day. It's amazing that we can do the things we want to do, and we keep pushing ourselves to the limit. I think that's very important because, and that's one reason why we bought the Moss Farm was we felt like there wasn't, we were just doing our thing and there wasn't enough challenge. Like we've got comfortable, and I think comfort is one of the worst enemies of business. As soon as you're comfortable, there's no growth, right? So we really wanted to get out of our comfort zones. We wanted to learn and take on a new challenge, but also invest in real estate and diversify our portfolio at Mossify and provide value in a lot more ways than just a couple.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, we're
Yeah,
super excited.
it seems like just a full circle moment too, to just to have it start from having that moss in your driveway to owning a moss farm. I mean, it just makes sense. I'm
It's
sure when
crazy.
you're like, okay, yeah, this is the next thing to do, which is so cool.
It's crazy. It's like it's unbelievable. And again, since I was a kid, I love the forest. I love being outside. I love, making a fire and, being out in the forest. And then you walk outside in the nighttime and it's just dead silence, right? And you can see the most amount of stars you've ever seen. And, during the day, it sounds like Jurassic Park. There's like wildlife absolutely everywhere. And it is just the most serene, beautiful place. And the atmosphere and environment there is perfect for moss. There's moss everywhere. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
What is next for Mossify?
Yeah, no, I think we definitely have some very big partnerships coming up. We have some really unique products that are completely out of left field, never been done in the lawn and garden space. So I'm so excited about that. But no, I think a lot of our focus is going to go into the farm. We're going to do a lot of innovating in this space. The farm is a big undertaking, and but we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to involving the community, working with potentially government programs. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. And one thing that I found is like, purchasing this farm, speaking with the local community, speaking with different organizations, there's so many doors that are opening that we've never walked down that hall and looked at that door. We didn't even know there's a door there, right? And it's just like a big sign that says Mossify, come in. And we're like, okay, let's go into that door.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. So yeah,
Yeah, I love it. I'm so glad that you came on here and shared your story, Lucas, because like it's so heartfelt. Just like you said with video, like seeing the video of you and your family, your coworkers, the rest of Mossified, like have your feet in the ground of the farm. It just was like so. I was like, I gotta talk to Lucas. I'm like reaching you on LinkedIn, so I really genuinely appreciate it. Just not just as a podcaster, but also as a customer. Like again, I love your brand. I think that what you are doing is so amazing. I want to ask you, what advice would you give to that young entrepreneur who's like kind of done a couple things and it's like you had the door shut, you saw the window to climb out. What advice would you give to that person?
yeah, that's a great question. And I appreciate the words of encouragement, Wade. Seriously, that means a lot. But I get this question a lot, to be completely honest, about entrepreneurship and about the journey and about where to start, how to start, whatever the case is. And I mean, it's tough to say it's going to be an easy journey. You have nothing to worry about. It's really really hard. It's really hard. It's very stressful. It's very time consuming. So if you want to work less, don't be an entrepreneur. It's not for you. If you want to challenge yourself, if you want to build a team, if you want to, you know, involve the community, whatever the case is, you have to be obsessed. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to grow a business, for anyone listening, for whoever wants to be an entrepreneur, you have to be more obsessed than thousands and thousands, millions of people in the world. You
Space.
have to be obsessed. So, I dream about I dream about this business. I dream your brain doesn't turn off. When you leave the office, when you leave work, it doesn't turn off. It keeps going. And this is all I think about every single day. And there's nothing's changing it. So I love it. My brain is Mossify. That's all that's in my brain.
Yeah. Well, it's working. It's
I
definitely.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Lucas. I really appreciate you joining me. Have an awesome night.
And thank you, Wade. You too, and thank you for doing this. Thank you for inspiring the community, the lawn and garden community. Yeah, again, I'm really passionate, and I'm really looking forward to the future of lawn and gardening because I think, and another reason why I started this business, I looked into the future. Not 1 or 2 years, not 3 or 4 years, but 10, 20, 30, 40 years in the future. Gardening and green and plants will be more relevant than ever before. It's only going to be more relevant. Plants are an amazing thing, and we're human, we're living beings, and we've had plants for eternity, and I think it'll always be like that. So
Yeah. It's always that place to feel grounded in all the crazy outside noise, just to get in your garden or even just caring for your house plants. It definitely brings that calm and serenity that we are definitely need in this world today.
yeah, yeah, exactly. When you're in Toronto, whenever you're in Toronto, let me know.
Yeah, for
We'll,
sure.
we'll hook up, and then when I'm in Jacksonville, I'll definitely message you for sure. So
Yeah, yeah. We have a really nice cafe too at the museum. We can grab lunch, give you a tour of the gardens. It'd be super cool.
I would love to. I'll take
Yeah,
you up on that. It looks beautiful.
yeah. Thanks, Lucas. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Thank you too, Wade. Take care.